with it, in the hood with it. Welcome back to the Collective Clips, where you already know we get it in. But before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding! Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel. It's all because of you and all that good shit, man. Thank you. I appreciate you. On we go. Double up. Super Toko. Shh. No, I ain't got a moco. It's Super Toko. How do I know? Because I asked him before and he was like, what? What's that? Right? So trip out. I wanted to talk about a Toko that I met. And this has nothing to do with prison. So if you're expecting a prison story, this ain't one of them. This is a street story, right? And this is actually a Toko that I ran into. When I say Toko, I mean Tongan. You know, Polynesian. One of my Polynesian partners. This guy was nuts. This guy was different. Now we know Lion, the Samoan, was different. But this guy was nuts on the streets. And it's different when you're crazy on the streets, right? So like I said, most Usos, most Tokos or Tongans that I've ever ran into, very humbled, nicest people on earth. So where my mother used to live back in the days, right? There was some Usos that moved in across the street. Now the house was ramshackle. What do I mean by that? Ghetto as fuck. And I said, I remember when they moved in, man, I came to my mom's pad. She was like, oh, we got some new neighbors. You know, straight up Mexican, always looking through the fucking, the blinds, trying to see who's the neighbor, trying to see what's up. I hope they fucking mow their lawn. If not, I'm going to send your dad over there to mow their lawn, right? On it. So, of course, I'm kind of surveying the situation. I see a big old, and I think he's a Samoan. You know, I couldn't tell. For the life of me, I can't tell the difference between Tongans and Samoans. My bad. It just is what it is, right? Big old motherfucker, shades on, looking like the Booyah Tray. You know who he looked like? He looked like the motherfucker from the movie, the one where fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme fought that guy with the big old fucking lamb chops. What was his name? The big old fucking Samoan dude, right? That's what he looked like. And he was sitting there on a little golf cart on swole. And I remember looking, I was like, oh, remind me not to go fuck with him. And you guys don't fuck with him, because if you guys need my backup, yeah, don't call me, right? So anyways, I would come by, visit my moms and shit. And they were always out there, a gang of fucking Usos. I thought they were Usos. So one day I said, fuck it. I got brave. I was like, I'm going to go across the street and chop it up with them. So I kind of walked over there and I started chopping it up. I was like, yeah, I do YouTubes and this and that. Oh, yeah. So they were cool. They were cool, man. Big dude didn't say much, but he was real cool. So let me tell you what happened. So one day, there was some beef. Okay, there was some beef between my brother-in-law and some person, right? I ain't going to put no names out there, but motherfuckers had said that they were going to come do something, right? If they see my brother-in-law. So my brother-in-law, he's Harley'd out the game. He's on his Harley out there. We're chilling, me, him, and a couple homies at my mom's pad, man. Just he's working on his shit. And the Usos or the Tokos, at this time I didn't know they were Tongan, right? I thought they were Samoan. They're all across the street. So it's this dude, his tweaker ass brother, spun out of the... Have you ever seen a sucked up skinny fucking Tongan? I hadn't either, but they exist, right? There was one of them. So he's right there kicking it. And what I liked about these people was they looked out for moms, right? Hey, his wife, the guy's wife, was so nice, and his children... My moms would give like clothes for the kids, buy school clothes for the kids, because they didn't have no. You could tell, man, they was living in poverty like a motherfucker, just like a Mexican, right? But every time they barbecued, which was every day, all day, they'd make bomb ass like Polynesian food or Tongan food. They'd give my mom plates and shit. Sometimes she'd call me over there. I'd snatch up a plate or two. It just was all love. So they were good people. So my mom was like, yeah, the wife is very nice. The husband's a little quiet, a little mean looking, but the wife is cool. So I remember we went over there, man, and we were chopping it up. And I mentioned to him, I was like, yeah, man, there's some people kind of lightweight tripping on some biker shit. They're kind of lightweight tripping on my brother-in-law. But it is what it is, man. Dude was like, hey, if you need my assistance, just give me a call. And I was like, I'll keep it in my back pocket. I'm probably not. Okay. Later on that night, I did, right? So anyways, this is what happened. So I'm at mom's pad chilling, and my brother-in-law and them leave, and I see there's a fucking couple cars that keep going by. And this dude, this Tongan dude, he stood outside in his front yard 24 hours a day. See, I didn't know the meth activities that were going on over there, but I just knew he was always up. And so I'd go out there to smoke a frajo, chop it up with him, like, what's up, bro? You know what I mean? And I was kind of like being on alert because the cars had passed while my brother-in-law was out there. And he was like, I think that's them fools right there tripping. Whatever. Then if we got to tripping and get to slipping into the clipping, then we're going to get to spitting. It is what it is. So anyways, the Tokos are surveying everything, right? So I go over there, I walk over there, chopping it up. And that's when I'm like, damn, bro, hey, Oos. And he was like, I'm Tongan, bro. I said, oh, so you're not Samoan? He goes, hell no, we don't really fuck with Samoans like that. I mean, inside prison, yeah, but you know, we're two different, whole different things going on here. And so I was like, oh yeah, I did time with some Tongan. So I started mentioning a few cats that I knew that were Tongan for sure. And he was cool. He wasn't being as quiet as usual. He was on a good one. I'm going to be honest with you. That motherfucker was like this. Nah, for real. We're Tongan, right? I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. It's cool, right? So anyways, when I went back across the street, them cars passed again. So I ain't gonna lie, I was getting a little nervous. Like, damn, I didn't have the thing on me. So I go in the house, and sure enough, them cars kind of pull up and they point something in our direction of the house. So my mom's kind of freaking out. You know, my stepdaddy's old and shit. So I'm like, damn, I ain't got it on me. What do I do? And my car is parked outside, so I can't get to the car to go because these motherfuckers are parked on the corner right there. I can see them. I'm like, damn, if I come out, they're going to let loose. So I I tell my mom, hey, you got the wife's number across the street? Yeah. So I call the big Tongan, right? Big Toko, super Tokes. And I'm like, hey, bro. And I tell the wife, hey, can I talk to your husband? Yeah, sure. So I'm like, hey, bro, this is the situation. Remember them cats we told you about earlier? Man, I think motherfuckers are camped out. Shit. Before I could get out there to help them, there's about 6 Tokos in the middle of the street with ARs like, what's happening? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Right? I'm like, oh, shit. I love fucking Polynesian people, right? So I jump in my whip, get somewhere. Moms, everything's going to be all right, Mama Bear. I'm gone, right? Nothing ever materializes from that. Dudes just got on. They were like, oh, nah, these motherfuckers got Usos and shit to back their play. So trip out. I would go over there from time to time and chop it up with these dudes. I'm used to like Tongans and Samoans being real low key, but these were like big, gigantic Tongans on meth, right? So they were different. They were a little bit more animated. Where most of the time, you know, you see a Tongan or Samoan, they're like this. These vatos were like this. They were getting it out there, right? They're sea walking and shit. And they had come from Tacoma. So they were part of a gang called Hilltop. Okay, they were Hilltop Crips. So that's how I know a little bit about the Hilltop. I know a little bit more now that I live in Washington, but at the time, that's where these guys had moved from, right? So they were solid. So I'd fuck with them from time to time, go over there, barbecue on hit. I always noticed why they didn't ever eat anything, but it was the meth activities that were going on, right? The meth activities. So trip out on how this all works out. So one day, he has all these, this dude used to paint. That's what his profession was. He had like a little golf cart. He used to cruise around in the neighborhood. And he'd go paint like houses or whatever. That was his side hustle. You know, motherfucker wasn't trying to work. He was trying to sit there all day. I'm smoking good weed. Right? Right? He'd be getting his puff on. And then he'd jump in his golf cart and do about 100 miles up and down. He had a swooped up ass golf cart too. That motherfucker. He'd be up and down the street in it. So what happened was he had all these like his painting, what do you call it? His painting fucking ladders and all his equipment on the side of his pad. Well, some tweakers walked up and down the street, so they snatched his shit. So the whole time, I didn't really know this guy's business. I thought he was a painter. I thought he was a meth addict. I mean, that much I knew, and I respected the get down. And like I said, they could barbecue like a motherfucker. Pigs, beware, because they'll barbecue a whole pig up and down, right? But they'll dig a pit in the fucking front of their yard, just throw a pig in there, alive. Get your bitch ass in there, right? But I didn't know that the dude was hustling on the side. He was getting his money, right? I should have thunk it, but I didn't think it. So he's hustling. So I guess there would be a lot of activity. My mom she started like, she was cool with them, but she, you know, nosy ass Mexican moms. Yeah, there's always people there all night. How do you know? Take your ass to sleep. Are you on dope? What? Right? So he was slanging, whatever, right? It's his business. And he got to the point where his shit got stolen one night. They stole his shit. And man, I remember I was over there at my mom's pad. I was washing my car and shit. I was just about to take off. And he was like, hey, let me talk to you, bro. And I went over there. He's like, did you see anyone in my past? I don't know. You know, I don't stay here, bro. I stay over there, bro. This mom's, I come by to check up on him and shit. And he was like, yeah, man. He was like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Any tweaker that walks down the street's gonna get it. And I was like, all right. Now, I know Polynesian people. And one thing I can tell you for sure, just like the lion in Superus, he ain't lying. He was the lion. If they say they're gonna do something and you aggravate them and get on their last nerve, man, you fucked up. You know you done fucked up right, blood. You know you done fucked up right. Man, there was a white tweak. So I'm right there, right? I'm get to finishing up my car. And I hear, ah. And I'm like, brother, stop, brother. And I was like, oh shit, Roach is in trouble, right? I start having flashbacks. This dude, seeing this tweaker walking down the street, was like, hey, let me get at you. Come here, man. Hey, trip out. And just threw him in his backyard and locked him in there with pit bulls and shit. This motherfucker had some crazy ass. I don't even know if they were pit bulls. They were like Tongan pit bulls. Tongan pit bulls hit different, right? Big old swoller than their masters, right? This motherfucker grabbed the tweaker, threw him in the backyard, put the padlock on, and left him back there with the pit bulls. Oh, get off me, brother! Get off me! The fucking pits, fucking him up, right? This dude, I watched him. Hey, I was like, oh, you're too much, bro. You're cold, man. You're going to kill that motherfucker. He was like, no, I'm not. The dogs are. He lets this dude's all chewed up. This dude's running down the street. Ah, help. The Samoans are after me. He's like, we're fucking Tongans. Robbie like, oh, shit. I watched this dude do this simultaneously for a very long time. He was snatching all tweakers off the street. Hey, man, can I get at you? Right? Throw him in the backyard. I was like, this motherfucker's a maniac. Crazy. So now I'm starting to really get a fever for his flavor. Understand his vibe and what he's all about. Or at least I thought I did, right? So after that situation, I thought, okay, this motherfucker's nuts. Nah, you ain't seen it all, right? So I'm cruising down the street. This fool had called me. I'd given him my number. He called me. He's like, hey, man, my car's broke down. I need a ride to my whip. So I'm like, I got you. I said, why don't you take the golf cart and shit? He said, that's what I'm talking about. I was like, yeah, because I had never seen a car up until that point. So I give him a ride to his fucking golf cart, which had broken down. So that motherfucker's a master mechanic. He just picks the whole shit, the whole engine up. He's working on this shit. So I'm waiting right there. I'm like, hey, you want me to go? He's like, yeah, you can go. I was like, all right, cool. He's like, go get me something to drink. I was like, damn. Why is it that every day I feel like I'm the one getting punked? Anyways, what do you want to drink? I'll be back. So I go get us some fucking beer. We're sipping right down the side of the road. Cops pass by. They're too scared to fuck with a big old fucking Tongan, right? And they pass by. They're eyeballing me, but when he stands up, they're like, hey, how you doing? And they keep it pushing, right? And so he's fixing this shit. So he's like, hey, do me a favor, bro. Follow me back to my pad just in case this motherfucker breaks down. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I got you. So I follow him. He's going, when the motherfucker's running like shit. He's like doing the Barney Rubble. Big old Tongan fucking in a golf cart. So we get back to his pad. We're chilling, drinking some more beers. His brother comes, the super tweaker, the skinniest Tongan I've ever seen in my life. And all these other dudes. I mean, they had constant family members there. You know what I mean? His old lady just coming out with plates of food. And everyone's it's just sitting there and flies are attacking it. And I really start to feel like I'm on the island of Tonga, right? It just feels that way. His house was just like, it was like being in a hut, but not quite. It was cool though. So anyways, we're posted up, kicking back there. He's like, hey, we're going to barbecue tonight. Ooh, so I got your bag, whatever, right? All right, yeah, cool. So I come through. They're barbecuing, right? Well, some black dude comes. And this black dude he had been doing, I guess it was like his connect or whatever. And he owed him some money. Black dude's like, man, I'm going to need my money. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Get over here, right? I was like, oh, no. This motherfucker squeezed him to his fucking ears popped. The fool, no blood. He's like, shut up, motherfucker. Shut up, Toko. I was like, oh, hell no, right? Man, I just took right off the car. I left my car in the front, just walked across the street to my mom. I was like, Mom, you have any plants you need me to water? I don't want nothing to do with what they got going on over there, right? Hey, they did something medieval to that guy, right? They kicked the dog shit out of him. I'm going to tell you right now. The Pits even got a little piece of that action. He was gone. Needless to say, he never got invited to another fucking barbecue or nothing, right? So I walked back across the street. Where were you, Thorks? I said, safe. Preferably safe, bro. You know what I mean? You motherfuckers are nuts, right? And believe me, they're on drugs like a motherfucker, right? So they're like, he's like, hey, do me a favor, bro. I'm going to go hit a lick tonight. No, I can't do you that favor. You know what I'm saying? Because if you get mad at me, there is no coming back from me. See, that brother was swole. I'm not. So we're going to do it like that. So time passes. Okay. And I forget all about it, man. I don't go to mom's as much, you know. And this fool gets locked up. And so my mom calls me one day. She's like, hey, the Tongans that live across the street, they're moving. I was like, oh, that's fucked up. Because I like that they were there because they protected mom's pad. Like they loved moms and my stepdad, like I said, brought him plates of food. My mom was hella cool with his old lady. They interacted. So I felt safe there as far as like, you know, if anything happens, man, because he used to tell my mom and them, if anybody walks down the street or disrespects, let me know, I'll kill him, right? Like straight up, not I'll hurt him or beat him, I'll kill him, right? So I'm like, oh, moms, you're good. You got personal bodyguards. But my mom's like, they're moving. And she's more, because she don't give a fuck that they're leaving. She's more concerned with who's going to be the next neighbors to come fuck up the community, right? So I go over there like, and his wife says, yeah, he's locked up. I'm like, damn. So they're moving his shit. So the golf cart is right there. So my stepdad, he's always trying to hustle. He's a born hustler, right? He's like, he walks across the street all slow and shit, bow-legged. He's like, hey, he's locked up, huh? She was like, yeah. He was like, what's he going to do with this golf cart? She was like, well, I mean, you can have it if you want. So he's like, come on. So I pushed that motherfucker across the street to his pad or whatever, right? Now he's got him a little golf cart. Stepdad's cruising that motherfucker down the street. Don't know how to act, right? But trip. Toko gets out about 2-3 weeks later and comes straight to the pad like, hey, I need my golf cart. My stepdad's like, and you have it. And hands him the keys, right? And he's like, it won't start. So my stepdad's like, oh, it's probably dead. You gotta, so he's like, can I use your battery charger? So my stepdad said, yeah. So he pushes the car. Now, new people have already moved into the pad. This motherfucker don't give a fuck. He pushes it right up into their fucking, get your damn car out of my way, Baisa, right? So Baisa's moved in. He puts his shit, plugs it right into, they're like, excuse me, sir? He's like, what? They're like, nothing. Yeah, go ahead. Electricity's free around here. He plugs in there. She's working on it. He gets that motherfucker going. He takes my stepdad's battery charger with him. He's gone. Motherfucker's down the freeway in a fucking golf cart, right? Whatever, right? So it's about a couple months later, and my stepdad, I could tell when he's thinking. So I go by, I'm like, what's up? He was like, that motherfucker got me for my thing. I said, well, you ask him for it. No, you ask him. No, you ask him. No, you. Have you seen his arms? Yeah, that's why I'm not going to ask him, right? So I eventually tell my mom, you ask him, then mom, right? So my mom calls his wife. And she says, yeah, you know, he came by and he got his golf cart. And she's like, yeah, I'm not with him anymore. And here's the cold twist of the story, right? And my mom's like, what do you mean you're not with him? She goes, yeah, you don't know? And my mom's like, no. And she said, yeah, that guy got locked up on like 10 attempted murders. They say he got like 3 confirmed murders. He's got all kinds of crazy ass charges. Like, this motherfucker was a maniac. My mom's like, no. His wife's like, yeah, I didn't even know he was living a double life. I was like, that man wasn't living a double life. He was living a high life. He was right there handling his business, right? Wasn't nothing double about that. You know, maybe she didn't see it because she was too busy in there cooking for all those big motherfuckers. But something was going down. So what had happened was they had moved. And where they moved, he got into it with some people out there. He was slanging, doing his thing, set up shop. And he fucked someone up real bad. And they fucking, I guess they knew a little bit about his business. So they turned him in. So as we speak, currently, this big motherfucker's fighting everything and everything all day long, right? It's crazy because I used to kick it with this dude. This dude was a straight up killer, a hitter, allegedly. He's still fighting this case, so we're going to say he's innocent. But I done seen some crazy shit. I'll never say his name because I'm not trying to put him on blast. But this motherfucker was literally feeding tweakers to the pit bulls. And I mean for reals. Hey, he had this big old Uso ass padlock he put on there. Right? And help! Help, man, I promise I don't even fucking like ladders. I don't even like ladders. They're back there screaming. Hey, that motherfucker sit down and just eat a piece of chicken. I'm like, hey, bro, like, you can hear motherfucker. And the dude's back there like, I'm like, hey, bro, like, he probably might have had enough. He's like, what'd you say? I said, yeah, I'm gonna go water plants and shit. Anyways, man, it was wild, man, super Toko. And for the life of me, like I said, I didn't know the difference. I ran into, when I was in prison out of state in Oregon, man, I ran into a few Usos and a few Tongans, right? And that was the first time I ever seen a difference between the way they wiggled. Like, very similar as far as like hella good people, calm, cool, collect. But to me, the Tongans were just a little bit more out there with it, a little bit more thuggish. Don't get it twisted, man. Samoans will give you that oos special, right? But the Tongans were just a little bit more like gang banging. You know, they was on their crap shit, the ones that I ran into. Anyways, with that being said, that's the second super oos of the day. Look, correct me if I'm wrong. Did the fucking Tongan say oos? He did. So maybe he was half and half. I don't know what he was. Whatever he was a killer. That motherfucker's locked up facing all kinds of charges. I didn't believe moms, right? So oh, hell no. This motherfucker's worse than I thought he was, right? I wonder if they ever got him for feeding people to pit bulls. I guess that's yet to remain to be seen, right? Anyways, with that being said, if you guys enjoy these stories, me and that dude went on a mission. I might as well put it out there since I ain't saying his name. And it was something I never experienced in my life. No diddy, right? But it was something I never experienced in my life. And I'll tell you right now, yep, that made a motherfucker not even like Tongans anymore, really. I was like, oh, I'm cool off you guys for a while, right? So we're going to get to that. If you guys want that, put a number 1 or a comment. Let me know. That'll be a part 2. We'll make it happen. I appreciate all the support that I'm getting, man. I'm glad that you like these videos that I'm dropping. I will be giving an update on Ricky tomorrow. Super Norteño is back on the scene. He's crispy and clean. Getting out soon with 1 Glock 7. What? Not this time. He doesn't need that smoke anymore. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I honestly and truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. So I advise you, if you see a Toko that looks like the dude from Lionheart with the big old lamb chops right here, glasses, but he's wide awake, leave him the fuck alone. But I doubt we'll be seeing him because he's got so many different murder cases. Damn near serial shit. He's for reals. This is the gun. Bang, bang.